We make way for Jalen Rose, ESPN NBA analyst, former NBA guard, drafted, I think, 13th overall by the Nuggets back in 1994. J. Rose joins us now. Do you still play pickup?
I do. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the love. And lucky number 13 took my family from the city to the suburbs. Thank you, David Stern in the NBA.
Do you remember what your first paycheck was?
I do not. I remember my first contract was for 6 years, $10 million. I actually came into the league the final year where rookies' contracts weren't slotted. And my good friend, the big dog, actually was one of the guys that asked for $100 million because he was going number one overall. And to tell you a funny quick story, being in the same draft, both feeling like we were lottery talent, we go to the combine in Chicago. We both decide that we're not going to work out. We go hang out in Gary, Indiana, in his basement, and he's rapping and making beats and doing stuff, and I'm just hanging out and kicking it. The draft came. He went number one. I wore a red, white suit and went 13th overall and was watching guys go in front of me. I didn't even know who they were.
If we had a league and it was the over 50, who would go number one?
Over 50, you got to always go with size. So I'm taking Shaq.
Okay.
Who's going to stop him from getting dunked down low?
Ray's not 50, is he?
He's younger than me, and I'm 47.
Oh, okay. Reggie Miller Reggie can still play.
Yes. So those are two styles. So
wait a minute, you can't get Shaq. Shaq's 47, so you.
Oh wow. So you're right. I have to definitely go with Reggie because he got a skill that'll transcend. And plus, he got a body type. Usually, here's what happens: football players, when they're playing, they take so many supplements and stuff. When they retire, they get smaller. Basketball players, when they retire, they get heavier.
You didn't. You look like you're about the same.
Well, I had my years then when I first retired, and I still have some aches and pains, and tendonitis, and some soreness all over my body. Going to the gym and your body hurt really didn't help a lot. And I have one of those body types that when I'm out of shape, I'm kind of built like a kangaroo because my stomach and my butt stick out at the same time. So I had my kangaroo Jalen years, but I had to lose it and get right.
Let me dive into the 76ers topic. Who is going to get the blame at the end of the season with this team?
Brett Brown, and you know how professional sports work. You look at the landscape of their squad, you have two perennial all-stars in Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. And like most young players, their games have flaws. For Joel, his is going to be to consistently bring it on a nightly basis just because his injury history is going to stop him from practicing consistently and remaining in tip-top shape. And Ben Simmons, who has a terrific all-around game, but he doesn't attempt shots outside of the paint, and that's one of the biggest anomalies we've seen from a guard that plays that position in a really long time. You invest in the offseason, give Tobias Harris $180 million, max deal, let Jimmy Butler walk, and then you bring in Al Horford and give him $100 million. So on paper, you got four guys making top dollar, and you're lower half of an Eastern Conference. Usually that falls on the coach.
If you could only keep one in Philadelphia, who would you keep?
If I only could keep one, this is probably going to be controversial, but I'll take the healthy player in Ben Simmons. I love Embiid, and I voted him all NBA last season, and he's going to be the same this year, along with Jokic at the center spot. But if you're going for a longevity play, the best ability is availability, and Ben is going to be able to practice. He's going to be able to do, all-season training. He's going to be able to show up and play as close to 82 games as possible, and then I know what I'm going to get in the playoffs. For Joel, probably won't have an opportunity in his career to play 82 games. There have been playoff games that he's missed the last couple of years. So if there was a one night, I'll take Joel, no doubt about it, because I think he's one of the top 10 players in the entire league. But if I'm talking about the next 10 years, I got to go longevity with Ben.
He's Jalen Rose. Jalen will appear on NBA Countdown tonight, then on the jump tomorrow in Boston before the Rockets-Celtics game on ABC. You can also see him on NBA Countdown, Jalen and Jacoby, and also Get Up. Guess my MVP vote.
I would say that you would probably take Luka Doncic as your MVP.
No. Wait, because I'm white, I'm taking Luka Doncic? Wow.
No, not at all, because he's taking a Dallas Mavs team that nobody can name players beyond him and Kristaps Porzingis if you ask the average fan, and they're one of the top handful of teams in the league in the Western Conference. Who you got?
I got a guy who's underrated. Nobody talks about him being an MVP. Hasn't won an MVP in 8 years. LeBron James.
I'm not mad at that choice. Who can fight that? He's second, by the way. He's second.
You know what? And we love a story, Jalen. We've already done the Greek freak story. LeBron doing what he's doing at this age. Come on.
He's been outstanding, and I agree with you. Again, it's almost splitting hairs because LeBron James, second on his team in scoring, still giving me over 25, leading the league in assists. I'm pretty sure that was a bucket list thing. And he has regular season greatest of all time things that he's trying to achieve, like catch Kareem on the scoring mark. And he's been outstanding. Lakers number 1 seed in the West. But there is a player whose team has a better record, who averages more points, averages more rebounds,
All right.
and just so happens to be the reigning MVP.
But
so
it's not a better story, though.
It's
It's not a better story.
Yeah.
And you know what these writers do? They love a good story here.
Right, but here's the one thing, and saying writers is almost like saying buying a DVD. What gets underrated is that more than writers vote now, including myself.
Broadcaster.
But I am a writer.
Okay. Yeah, you're a poet too. Okay. So the media is voting on this. Okay, a couple other things here. I'm starting to buy into small ball for the regular season. As you know, and I tell this audience all the time, basketball during the regular season is different than basketball in the postseason because you can be real fun and it can work in the regular season. A 7-game series against a team that is gearing up just to stop your style. That's what it comes down to with the Rockets. While they're fascinating, I got to see it, come May and June. What do you think?
You're a seasoned veteran, and you're schooling the audience on real game. That's exactly correct. There are 2 different seasons, how you perform in the regular season versus what's being asked for you in the postseason. How about this multimedia example?
Okay.
There's a difference between being on a show when I hit the guide and I see your name and or your name is on the show. That means you're the marquee, i.e. Dan Patrick. And there are going to be people in the industry that come on your show and think, hey, those 5 seconds I was on, the ratings went up. I'm really good. It's way different when you're responsible for bringing it every day. And in the regular season, you can do all of the gimmicks. And by the way, I love small ball. It really unlocked Russell Westbrook. That's what it did. You take Capella off the baseline, you put Russell Westbrook on the wing, and the previous game, he scored 20 points in the paint, almost like he's Shaquille O'Neal. So that's really what they did, is just change the geometry of the floor. But in the postseason, when the game does slow down, those tall guys always seem to get a lot closer to the basket, be a lot more efficient, block a lot more shots, and get a chance to be more physical. So I'm going to always go with the height, and the Lakers have that and the skill. The Clippers have the perimeter lockdown defense. And as long as they're healthy with Kawhi, PG, and Beverly, and then I can rely on the height of the Bucks too. Giannis is 7-footer, along with Lopez. So I give Houston a puncher's chance, but they're third in my ranking orders of the West.
If you could help Zion with one thing in the offseason, what would it be?
Right hand. That's the only thing that's going to unlock his game. He's so very athletic. He's so humble. And I look at prospects and I always say, will they be successful without sports? And I get that from him, and I appreciate it about him. He, offensive rebounds. He gets deflections. He's the ultimate teammate that just so happens to have number 1 overall accolades. He's really strong, dominant, left-handed, and of course you want him to be able to make his jump shot. But if he gets his right hand, think about this. When you watch him play, of all time, your favorite dunkers, usually if they're right-handed, they're going in off the left leg and or vice versa. He can do both. plus jump off both feet. So I would say, of course, you want him to shoot better, but if he get a right hand, it's going to be over.
Your favorite Kobe story?
My favorite Kobe story is that I wanted to do a pilot called Jalen versus Everybody, and one of the ideas that I and we and the production team written to promote it and to be a part of it was Kobe statue unveiling. And a part of his statue unveiling would be him shooting a turnaround jumper and me guarding him facing the wrong way out of homage to his 81-point game. And I sent him the idea. He appreciated it. He liked it. Did a script called 81 Olives that I'm pretty sure people see on the internet now, where we're in the Palms restaurant downtown, and I'm just trying to enjoy my day, and then all of a sudden I run into Kobe Bryant at a booth. And, instead of him just ordering a martini, he has to get 81 olives to try to make a mockery out of me. So I appreciated him forever for doing that, and I knew that, like myself, he wanted to get into production, and he wanted to do some writing. And if you notice in that skit, that's what he says. Hey, how you enjoy retirement? I'm writing a little bit, investing a little bit. That's not normal retired athlete things that you say. And that's what made Kobe Bryant, the late, great Kobe Bryant, so great. He was a Renaissance man. He spoke multiple languages. He was a champion. He was a leader. He was a family man. And he's sorely going to be missed. And I want to send condolences, obviously, to their family and all of the families that were affected.
I love it. Whenever it's brought up to you that, hey, Kobe got 81, like it was on you. It was on the Raptors, but you say, I didn't guard him the whole night. But you got the blame. You're the marquee guy. Yeah, you got blamed there.
It's fine. As long as I'm as relevant as I am, and I'm on 500 shows, and I'm married to Molly, and I got a fresh haircut all of the time, and I'm crispy, suited and booted from wearing top pins and brooches and clips, and I got veneers when I got drafted. I even went to the dermatologist a couple of times, Dan. Of course, they can have that. No problem at all.
How safe is Kobe's 81?
It's extremely safe. The only way somebody tops that is if I decide to come out of retirement.
Oh, get out of here. What's the most you ever had in a game?
In a summer league game.
No, that doesn't count.
NBA game? Or NBA game? Oh,
Yeah.
no. So this is what I tell people. If I could score 44 in an NBA game, Kobe Bryant let me down. He should have had 88.
It's always great to talk to you. And thanks for joining us, Jalen. We appreciate it as always.
Pleasure.
All right. That's Jalen Rose. He'll be on NBA Countdown tonight, then on the jump tomorrow in Boston before the Rockets. Celtics also contributes to Get Up NBA Countdown, and, of course, his show with Jalen and Jacoby.